Okay, in the last three sessions, we covered the Linux fundamentals, kind of a Linux basics or a commands which are required for a DevOps engineer. We have just small portion left, which is a kind of monitoring or we can say observability, like how to monitor the CPU utilization, how to identify what services are running and how to stop the service, right? And memory utilization, disk utilization, these are the pending things. Okay. So what I do is going forward, like we will create Windows machine and Linux machine as part of AWS. The moment once we are at the EC2 topic and we create the Linux EC2 instance, right? So we have to do some basic like web hosting and all the things. At that time, just I will show you like the commands like top or PS commands or memory utilization, disk utilization, things which won't take more than 10 to 15 minutes of time. So now in this session, let's talk about the cloud computing and the AWS, a global infrastructure. You will get some clarity on that. What is a global infrastructure and why we are trying to understand or why we are focusing on the global infrastructure and all the things. Okay. Right. Before getting into the today's session, are you guys clear with the last Linux classes? Or if you have any questions on the Linux part, just let me know. I will take the questions and then just we can move on with the next topic. And about this, what we call that, the videos, recorded videos, just I am trying to upload it. Mostly by end of this class, the videos will be available and I will share the link. Okay, any questions before continuing further? Okay. Zipping files is little confusion. Okay, but no need to repeat. Okay. Zipping files. Can you tell me like where exactly you got some confusion with the zipping? Generally, in the real time, we don't use the command zip at all. We don't use the zip command at all. But actual zipping is the process. That's why, like I explained the zip, but always we use the tar, gun zip. Multiple things are there, but majority of the people will use the tar. Okay, just do the just try to do it practice. Okay, whenever you got some queries, just try to reach me out. So I will help you out. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, let's continue now. Give me a second. Just let me click on. Okay, let me share the screen first. Okay. Hmm. Okay, so cloud computing. So what exactly, I mean, what is the meaning of a cloud computing? What are we going to do in the cloud computing? Any idea? Whenever I ask a question, I am not expecting any technical definitions. I'm not expecting any technical definition. So just you can feel free to answer the question. Even if you answer wrong, there is no problem with that. Okay. So what is a cloud computing? What is the concept of cloud computing? So cloud computing is kind of or a cloud machine. Let's say cloud machine. Okay, remote. Okay, okay, remote. But remote is not the actual meaning of the cloud computing. I will explain. Cloud computing is, in a simple way, someone else computer. Let us say I have like 100 computers, right? And I am renting you But you here again, there is some little bit confusion. Just I'm trying to explain the layman stuff. Later, I will show you the technical definition and all of it. I have like a not 100. I have one computer. If you go back to like a 10 years or 15 years, there is a computer renting things exist, right? Even still there are. But I'm talking about at that time, even for normal people also, the renting systems exist. What I do is I go to the shop, I pay like some advance amount, and per month I have to pay 1,000 rupees, and I will get that system and I will install it in my home and I will use it. That's not the cloud computing because here also I'm using someone else's computer, but that's not a cloud computing. What is the cloud computing? That some other person is going to maintain that computer in their location only, and I will use their computer to run my services, and that is what the cloud computing. Cloud computing is the process of providing the compute capacity or compute resources over the internet. As we are using it over the internet, you might have used a term called remote. That is correct, but that's not the definition of the cloud compute. Because if my laptop is here, right? If you remotely access my laptop, that doesn't mean my laptop is a cloud computer. Cloud computing is the process of providing the compute capacity over the internet. What is the compute capacity? It's a CPU, RAM, storage, internet networking. Right? These all are called as a compute capacity. Now, why this cloud computing becomes more popular? Let us say, assume there was no cloud computing at all, right? So how the organizations maintains the servers and all. First, they used to have a data center. Data center is nothing but a server room, right? In which they will maintain the servers. They will place all the servers like this. They they purchase the physical servers, and then they might use some virtualization, that doesn't matter, and they will place all the machines like this. Let us say computer 1, computer 2, 3, 4, and so on. Then what happened? They need to provide a power supply to each and every computer. Then there should be a networking devices, like I will say switch, right? And then they used to have something called internet service provider, internet connectivity. And then what all they need? Power supply, network, hardware, right? They will purchase all these. So here the problem is whenever you are using these servers, so this is called as a on premises. What does that mean? If you maintain all the servers in your office, that is what on-premises. So here, that organization has to spend huge amount of money to procure these servers, to purchase these servers. First thing. Then they need to provide a power supply. They need to provide power supply. And in order to make these servers 24 by 7 up and running without any power issue, they have to maintain a redundant power supplies. A redundant power supplies means along with the regular power connection, they have to take another power connection from another feeder, or they need to maintain some power generators, UPS, right? All sort of things they have to maintain. Then hardware maintenance will be on the company itself. At any point of time, the server might get crashed, hardware failure, or the switches might get failed, or hard disks might get burned, CPUs might fail, RAM might not work. So They have to maintain a separate team for hardware maintenance. And always they need to maintain spare resources, additional resources as a standby. And the team has to work 24 by 7 in three different shifts in order to maintain the systems up and running. Not only one team. For power maintenance, there should be another team. Operating system maintenance, one team. Network, another team, right? Which means there is going to be a huge burden on a small company. Let us say only four servers are there, right? Just four different applications are running, small applications, but I have to maintain three to four different teams 24 by 7 to make that application up and running, which is like very costly, right? Then cloud computing came into the picture. What are the advantages of the cloud computing? We don't spend like thousands and thousands of rupees or thousands and thousands of dollars to purchase the physical server. We never ever purchase the server. What we do, we will take that on a rent. I'm not supposed to use the term called rent. That's a kind of a leasing. What does that mean? Let us say, sorry, let us say I have a requirement. I have a requirement of one server for about like 30 days only. 30 days only. For 30 days, I don't want to purchase a server by spending like 1 lakh rupees because after 30 days, I have no use with that particular computer. Right? What I do, I will go to cloud provider. It can be AWS, Azure, or a Google Cloud, that doesn't matter. First, what I do, I will fill my requirements. Okay, I need two CPU, 4 GB of a RAM, 100 GB of a hard disk, right? I need a better or a good networking, and then I will create the server. But technically, Amazon call it as an instance, Azure call it as a virtual machine. But that is going to be a machine in the cloud. Obviously, that is going to be a virtual machine. They don't give you the physical server directly for yourself. Then what happens? The moment once the server got created, they start billing you per hour. On what basis? How many CPUs you provision, how much RAM you have selected, and how much storage you have created. Based on that, on an hourly basis, they will start charging you. The moment once you are done with your work and you delete the server, they will stop billing you. Means, as per the actual utilization, you have to be pay the money. That is what on demand usage and pay per use billing. So we call it as either a pay as you go model, or pay per usage. Whatever you are using, you have to pay for that only. And there is no advance to be paid. We call it as upfront. Technical term is no upfront charges. To create the server in the cloud, no need to pay like 1000 rupees or 10,000 rupees or anything. And there is no commitment also. What does that mean by commitment? No need to give any commitment like I am going to use this machine for at least 1 month or at least 5 months or at least 10 months. Whenever you need, just you can spin it up, you can create, and once you're done with your work, you can delete it. And all these servers can be created with a few clicks in just a few minutes. No need to wait for like what we call that, like 2 days or 3 days or something. Instantly, whenever you, these are called as like self-service, on-demand self-service. Like whenever you need it, you can go ahead and you can create it. Once you are done with your work, you can delete it. That is a main advantage. So I will explain the main advantage, the most important thing with the cloud computing. So you are working for a company. Okay, you are working for a company, and your organization is having, there is no cloud. Assume there is no cloud. Assume there is no cloud. So what you're having, it is going to be on premises. It is going to be on premises. Like all the servers you are maintaining within your office, on premises or in-house, everything is going to be the same. So you are having, let us say, five different servers. All are fully occupied with the ongoing projects. All these four servers are fully occupied with ongoing projects. Now, your company got a new project, right? To be started from, let us say, 10th of February 2026, which lasts for, let us say, 20 days. A small project and small duration project that has to be started from 10th February. And you have enough manpower, no doubt in that. We have enough manpower, there is no doubt in that. But to complete this project within 20 days, it requires minimum of four servers. Minimum four servers are needed to complete the project on time, so that your organization will get more benefit in terms of financials and all the things. Now, that is one option. What is the option? First thing, you have to purchase four servers immediately, because all the existing four are occupied with ongoing projects. So that you can provision, you can what we call that, you can place those new servers in your office, and you can start working on that. But the problem is, you can't get the servers instantly, like how you purchase the laptops and all. There is a lot of procedure. First, you need to get quotations. These are corporate policies, right? Quotations from at least two to three different vendors. Then quotation has to be approved internally in your organization. Then purchase order will be released. Once the purchase order got released, it takes minimum 3 to 4 weeks to deliver that machines, because those machines, based on your order, those machines will be assembled in the warehouse. If you talk about Dell, I think they are delivered from Singapore or so, right? But you are exceeding the limit. Like by the time the servers are delivered to you, the project timeline will be complete. Even though there is a way to receive the servers in just 1 to 2 days, you have to spend a huge amount of money only for just 20 days. After 20 days, there is no use of these four servers. You have to keep those servers idle. You might get a new project, that's good, but what if there is no new project? That's a waste of money, right? And the second option, you have to use the existing servers for the new project. In such cases, the old ongoing projects will get impacted, right? So now, with the help of cloud computing, instantly you can create as many servers as you want, not only four. If your organization says, I need 40 new servers by tomorrow, end of the day, yes, you can go to AWS, enter the specs, how many CPUs, how much RAM, and everything, and just create the servers. And in just 4 to 5 minutes of time, the servers will be ready. And here, no need to pay any upfront charges, right? No need to pay any upfront. No need to provide any commitment. Just you can use it for the next 20 days. Once you are done with your work, delete it. So you have to pay only for the 20 days. The bill will be generated for the actual utilization of the 25 days with respect to the number of CPUs, RAM, and storage. So this is the advantage. And as in the cloud, as in the cloud, We are not responsible for the hardware. Cloud provider will take care of power supply, networking, hardware maintenance, everything. The cloud provider is going to take the responsibility of managing the physical servers, the data center, and everything. Just you are responsible for the applications, the installed operating system, monthly maintenance like installing the Windows updates regularly, installing the antivirus softwares, managing the applications. That is just your responsibility. Hardware maintenance, you don't care. Networking, the physical devices, you don't care. Server administration, including the networking components like switches, routers, everything will be taken care by the cloud provider. That's the reason nowadays majority of the companies are using the cloud. And again, if you learn the cloud computing, that's not enough for the real time. Because in the market, they are looking for multi-skill people. So nowadays, DevOps is going to be a mandatory along with the cloud. With just only a cloud or with just only a DevOps, you cannot survive in the market. That's for sure. You must have at least one cloud along with the DevOps. Even if you know like multiple clouds, and if you don't have a DevOps skill, that's not worth in the market. Might be you might survive up to like you get like 4 years or 5 years of experience. The moment once you get more experience, you cannot survive. You cannot survive in the market with just one skill. Okay. Now, just I mentioned about like what is the cloud computing, right? And what are the cloud providers, the cloud providers, like who are offering the cloud computing. I think majority of you guys knows AWS, right? AWS is the one. AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud, GCP, right? These are the popular cloud providers. But apart from these, we do have something like GoDaddy, right? GoDaddy, Rackspace. These are also cloud providers, but you can't compare the GoDaddy and Rackspace with AWS, Azure, and GCP. They are cloud providers which works in a different way. They are even Gmail is also a cloud provider, but that's a different type of a cloud. I will explain that. Once we go through the types of clouds, you can understand that the Zoom, whatever we are using, that is also a cloud provider, right? Okay. Now, if you talk about the different types of clouds or different cloud deployment models, we do have different cloud deployment models. Cloud deployment models, like the way how the clouds were created and the purpose of the cloud. So let me write down the deployment models here. Cloud deployment models. But anyways, we are not here to create the clouds, right? But you should know the deployment models. The first one is a public cloud, private cloud, and then a hybrid cloud. And finally, we do have a community cloud. These are the four different types of cloud deployment models. These are the four different types of cloud deployment models. So, can you guess what might be the public cloud? Can you guess what might be the public cloud? Based on the name, just try to guess what it is and all. Any guesses? Okay. Public cloud is the cloud which can be used by anyone. Not only the public access, because Even the private cloud can be accessible by public. I mean, public in the sense I can access, you can access for your purpose and all the things. Public cloud is like anybody can use it. Like I can go to the public cloud and I can create my resources in the public cloud. Like it is a kind of uh, public transportation. Just for understanding purpose, I can say it is a kind of public transportation, like transport systems like RTC buses. Anybody can use it. I am not the owner of that bus, but I can use the bus to reach particular destination wherever I want by paying some money. Public cloud is the cloud which can be utilized or used by public. That's the best example: AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, this part. Private cloud is a kind like a private transportation system. This private cloud is designed exclusively for a single organization. I can say it is for a single organization. So which I can say, yeah, intranet private. I can say on-premise data center. Private cloud is like on-premise data center. The data center is a server room. The data center which you are maintaining in your organization. There are some tools by using which you can create the clouds, right? A kind of a network. If you are having the data center in your office, that is called as a private cloud. Nobody else can use your private cloud to run their servers, like your own car. Nobody else can use it, right? Unless you allow them. Hybrid is combination of public and private cloud. What does that mean by combination of public and private cloud? What is the use case? What is the use case of this? Any idea? You must know the idea, right? The concept or the use case of some concept. So if you see here, we know already the public cloud is the public cloud is like the one which can be used by anyone, right? And there is something like a private cloud. So I can say this is going to be the public cloud, and this is a private cloud. The combination of public and private cloud is hybrid cloud. The combination is called as hybrid cloud, which means this is in your office. Let us say this is, let us say, AWS. So here there are multiple servers, and here there is one server, and let us say this is a database, just for an example. And here there is an application. If it is reading the data from here, there should be a communication, right? So they will use something called a VPNs or a direct connect kind of things, and they will combine the on-premise data center with the AWS cloud data center, so that the AWS cloud and your office data center can communicate with each other through the VPN or a direct connect options. So combination of these two is known as a hybrid cloud. Combination of public and private. The combination of public plus private is known as a hybrid cloud. Any guess about the community cloud? Because already we have covered all the possible ways: public usage, private usage, and the combination of public and private under hybrid. Now, can you guess what might be this community cloud? Any guess? Community cloud is for a particular community only. Community cloud is for a particular community only. What does that mean by community? Is it based on the region? I mean, the geographical location? No. Is it based on something else? Definitely yes, based on something else, but not based on the what we call the state or country or something. Not based on their uh, what we call that what they follow and all. It's based on the nature of a business. The nature of a business. Let us say if I am into banking sector, like I'm running a bank, right? Or we are running like out of us. Few people are into financial institutions, financial organizations. Few are into IT, and few are into something else. Let us say someone created a community cloud exclusively for banking organizations, which means that community cloud can be used by the organizations which are into financial or a banking sector. Nobody else can use such clouds. If you ask me, can you name any such cloud available? Yes. There is something called AWS Government Cloud. AWS Gov Cloud. In this cloud, you can't create any servers. You can't log into that cloud also. Then who can? It is only for US government organizations. In this cloud, only United States government offices can run their servers. Nobody else can use such community clouds. That cloud is especially for a specific community. Cloud is especially for a specific community. Based on the nature of the business, based on the nature of the business, they can say, okay, this is for so and so organization. This is for different people. That's a different deployment models. Then we have different types of clouds available in the market. I mean, the way how, what types of services they are offering and all. So the first one is going to be, have you ever heard this one? Or I can say infrastructure as a service, which is also known as IaaC. Then platform as a service. Sorry. Platform as a service. Then software as a service. I think you might heard about the SaaS. Then what else we have? Storage as a service. We have a lot of. Then function as a service. I will give you some examples so that you can understand it better. These are these are the different types of clouds. These are different types of clouds. What does that mean by infrastructure as a service? Means they are going to offer they are going to offer infrastructure in the cloud. They are going to offer infrastructure in the cloud. What does that mean by infrastructure? Infrastructure is nothing but the hardware resources like CPU, RAM. Whenever you want to create a server, you must need what we call that the CPU, RAM, storage, networking, power supply, right? That is what the infrastructure. That is what the infrastructure is. So in the infrastructure as a service, they are going to provide the infrastructure such as CPU, RAM, storage, and a networking. And here on Amazon, we have a service called EC2. That is the example for infrastructure as a service, in which you can create the service. Then we have a platform as a service. Means, okay, based on the name, you can say, okay, they are going to offer you a platform. That's 100% correct. But what is a platform? To understand this better, quickly, I will give you a simple example. So I want to host a simple website. Okay, what all I need here? So first I need one server in which a CPU, RAM exist. Then we do have the storage, which is a hard disk, right? And then on top of that, you will have some operating system. Then you will have a web server software and then a database. And then on top of that, you will host the website code. It can be HTML or it can be Java or it can be .NET or whatever. So here, this is your website code. To run this website, you need this a platform. You need this platform. So if it is a HTML, right, a basic Apache web server is more than enough. If it is a PHP website, then it requires Apache and a PHP modules, a database, MySQL database, and so on. If it is a .NET website, .NET application, then it requires IIS web server. If it is a Java application, it requires a Tomcat server. Depending on that, there are different platforms. So under platform as a service, they are going to offer you a platform to run your application without worrying about the platform. While selecting the platform, you have to choose what platform you need. For Java application, for PHP application, or for something like some different applications, you have to choose the platform and the platform will be created and just you are responsible to upload your website code. The platform will be taken care by the cloud provider. Then, what is the next one? Software as a service. Yes, they are going to offer you a software. The best example is the Zoom. The best example is Zoom. We are nowhere connected with the Zoom server. I mean, connected with in the sense maintenance point of view. You are not responsible to install the Zoom communication server. You are not responsible to make that up and running or anything. Just you log in, use it, and close it. That's it. Or the Gmail. Are you responsible for managing the Gmail server? No, never. Are you responsible to configure some data backups and everything on a daily purpose? No, never. Never, right? In the same way, if you ask me, Gmail is there, Zoom, Teams, right? You are not responsible for anything. Just log in, use it, log out, including the maintenance like hard backups, what we call the disaster recovery. Everything will be taken care by them only. And if you ask me the examples for storage as a service, can you give any storage as a service? Examples means they are going to offer you the storage as a service. Google Drive, OneDrive, right? What else? S3, simple storage service. And then we do have something called a database as a service. I can say database as a service. So on Amazon, we have something called RDS. We have a DynamoDB, right? Depends on like what type of services they are offering you. They are categorized into different clouds. These are purely for our knowledge purpose. Whenever you go for an interview, they won't ask you like explain what is storage as a service and what is a, database as a service kind of a questions. They ask you like kind of what is RDS, how it works, and what is the advantage. How can you create one RDS instance? Because I need like Oracle database engine. How can you do that? and how much it cost you. Can you brief us about the pricing and all? That's it. They won't ask you like what is a database as a service and all. And any cloud, whether you go for Google, you can go for AWS or Azure, the main commitment is they are committed to offer you the high availability. They are committed to offer you high availability, high scalability, high security, high performance, and a redundancy. These are the major commitments. If they are not going to offer you these things, nobody will use their cloud. What exactly these terms are? What is a high availability? What is a high availability? Whenever you are using any service in the cloud, highly available means majority of the time, like I can say 24 by 7, if the system is available, 24 by 7, if the system is up and running and accessible, then we can say that system is highly available, like no downtime. But practically, which is not possible, 100% uptime or 100% availability is practically impossible. I mean, as per the guidelines, no cloud is offering you the 100% availability or 100% uptime. So they are committed to provide you at least 99.99 percentage. Then you can say, okay, the system is highly available. If they offer you 99.99%, then the system is highly available. Then the scalability. Scalability means, let us say here you have installed an application, let us say which is an online store similar to Flipkart or Amazon. So initially, this machine is having like 4 CPU and a 16 GB of a RAM. One fine day, the system performance is not good. Like CPU is utilizing like up to 90% because you are getting more traffic, more users, business is growing. Then, if I want to create a new machine with the high resources, I have to reinstall, reconfigure everything, and which might take like 1 day, 2 days, or we don't know, right? Depends on the application size. Scalability means if the resources can be scaled up or scaled down instantly, scale up in the sense increase the resources, and whenever you don't need the resources, you can reduce the resources. That is what scalable. So you can increase this from 4 CPU to 8 CPU and 32 GB of a RAM. Whenever you think that is very high, you can reduce that to 6 CPU and let us say 28 GB of a RAM. This is what scalability. According to your requirement, you can increase or you can reduce the capacity of your resources is known as a scalability. Not only this, going forward, we have a concept called auto scaling. No manual intervention is required. Automatically, the number of servers will be added. New servers will be created whenever there is a very heavy load. And automatically, newly created servers will be deleted whenever there is no load. Auto scaling. This is a manual scaling or a vertical scaling. This is a auto scaling or a horizontal scaling that we can discuss in detail in the auto scaling concept. So high scalability, high security. High security in the sense no unauthorized person can access your data. So how it is possible? They use something called NACLs, security groups, right? And web application firewalls. They do have a lot of components in order to provide you high security for your resources. So we will go through all these services. What is the NACL? What is security group? Those two are firewalls. I mean, all the three are firewalls only. One is like a network level firewall. One is like instance level firewall. One only supports allow rules. The other one supports deny rules. Theoretically looks like very huge, but if you understand the concept, those are the easiest topics. Okay. Then performance. Then performance. Performance in the sense, I will explain that later. Performance. Redundancy. Redundancy means if something went wrong for this server, like in this particular location, there was an earthquake or a fire accident, all your data is stored in this particular server, right? You might have a backup also, but the backup is also located in the same geographical location's data center. So you lose everything. In order to retrieve such kind of in order to retrieve the data from such kind of instances, they follow different strategies. Offline backups within the same region, within the same country. For understanding purpose, I'm using the terminology. In the same country, they will replicate or they will copy the backups to a different location. Let us say if you are in Hyderabad, your organization is in Hyderabad in one building. You are running very important application in the server, and it has a very confidential and important data, and you are not supposed to lose the data. So what you have done, you created a backup to some tape drives or whatever, right? Let us say to tape drive, and that drive is stored in the same building. One fine day, there was some fire accident. What happens? You lost your server, you lost the backups, right? So, what is the use of having a backup? So, now what they do is offline backups. Sorry, off-site backups, not offline backup. Sorry for the wording. Off-site backup means they create a backup and that backup to be replicated to another office, which is far away from the office one. This is office one, like let us say 100 kilometers away. So what is the advantage? There are very less chances that both the locations will get earthquake at the same time. Both locations will be under fire at the same time. Both locations will get some flood in the same time. They are very rare chances, right? So this is how they will maintain redundancy. Not only for the backups. For example, I took the backup. Let us say in this server, your application is running. Suddenly power failure or something went wrong and this server goes down. All other users cannot access the application, right? There is no redundant spare machines. So what we do here, we do have the same app running in a different location. Whenever it fails, all the users will be redirected to that healthy server. Redundancy, like a spare machine, a backup plan. Let us say if you are going for an exam, like if you are going for your what we call that NEET entrance exam. I think they are online now. Okay, that's not a best example. Okay, let's say you are going for your graduation BTech exam or MTech exam or something, the final exams. What you do? Definitely you will carry two pens, right? Not with a single pen. You carry two pens. Why? Suddenly, if the pen doesn't work, you can use a spare machine. Like if you're traveling with a car, you do have a spare wheel, right? Why? If there is some, if your tire got flattened, just you can use the other spare wheel and just you can move on. That is what the redundancy plan. Redundant. We are not dependent on a single machine. Okay, now coming to the performance. The cloud is committed to provide you the best performance. But to understand, it is a little bit confused with the scalability and performance. Scalability, we are doing like scale up. We are increasing the resources to reach the performance only. But again, they are committed to provide you the best performance. To understand that better, I would like to give you a simple example, which won't take much time. Okay, so here you created. So let us say here there is one server. okay, which is in somewhere in USA. Okay, in this you hosted a website. You hosted a website means you installed a website and that website is running. And now there is a user who is from US only. He has a laptop, right? From his laptop, he is trying to access the website and he is able to get the page within 2 milliseconds, which is called as latency. Which is called as latency. Within 2 milliseconds, the user is able to open the web page. Now, there is another user. He is from India. He is also using the same configuration laptop, brand new same configuration laptop, and the same internet speed. And now he is trying to access the website. How much time it will take to load the web page? Do you think same 2 milliseconds or more than 2 milliseconds or less than 2 milliseconds? In how much time the user will get the same website from India using the same configuration laptop, same internet speed, everything is same, just the location is different. How much time it will take? Definitely not 2 milliseconds. It might take, let us say, 10 milliseconds, which means the website is 5 times slower for India people. Why? Because that website is located in the US and the US people are very close to the website, and whenever they are trying to access, they will send a request and they will receive a response. The time takes to send a request and to receive a response is very less because they are very close to the website. But India people are located far away from the server. So the time takes to send a request and to receive a response will be obviously more. But what you think? Okay, I will move the server to India. Yes, then India people will get the best performance, but the US users will get the latency, high latency. We call that term as a latency. Latency means the time takes to send a request and receive the response. Then the India users will get the best performance, but the US people will not be able to get the best performance. That's why here there is something called a content delivery network. On Amazon, we do have something called cloud front. What exactly they do is, so we don't create in this way. We don't allow the users to access directly the website. We do create some kind of a distributions everywhere across the globe. These are part of content delivery network. So what happens whenever this user try to access the website, he will be connected to the nearest edge location, the nearest content. Those are caching points. I can say these are caching points, like your browser's cache and all. For the very first user, it contains nothing. The very first time the user is trying to access the website, this caching point contains a nothing. What it does, it will be connected and it will be pulled the website data and it will store temporarily in the edge location. Now, whenever the users are trying to access, the web page will be served from the nearest edge location. By default, every 24 hours, this cache will be cleared and a fresh copy will be downloaded from the website. Now this user is located very close to the edge location. Now this user also get 2 millisecond latency, 2 millisecond latency and they can get the best performance. We do have a separate concepts for these services for these concepts. We will discuss in detail. Just I tried to explain you what is that performance. What is that performance? They are committed to offer you the high performance. So, and the most important thing, how they achieve all these things. To achieve this, how they design their infrastructure across the globe. We need to understand that first. These all are a kind of intro to the next topics. So here we learned that the cloud providers are going to be provide you high availability, high scalability, high security, high performance, and high reliability or high redundancy. That's no doubt in that. But what sort of design techniques they use in order to achieve all these things? That is what we are going to learn in the global infrastructure. That is what we are going to learn in the global infrastructure. So, whatever we are going to learn from this point, that is going to be the AWS specific, means the terminology. Whatever the terminology I'm going to use, that is related to AWS. In the Azure, the terminology might be different, but the concept is going to be the same. So AWS is using or AWS creates the global infrastructure with three major components. They do have a lot of components, but especially three major components. What are those? The first one is a region. The second one is availability zone. And the third one is edge location. These are the three major components in the Amazon's global infrastructure. With the help of these three components, they designed their entire infrastructure, which is compliant with high availability, scalability, performance, security, and reliability. So now what is a region? What is availability zone? What is edge locations? That we cover in detail in the tomorrow session. And then also we will see free trial account, free trial account. Okay. So, and we will use that a free trial account. I think I will show you the process to create the free trial account because I do have earlier Amazon AWS allowed you to create multiple free trial accounts. That at the time there was a free tier. Recently, like it's been like 6 months or 7 months, they changed that free tier to free trial, where you will get a limited months of free up to like 200 US dollars worth credit. You can use that credit to learn the services and all. I will explain what are the free trial advantages, what all you need and how to create. And once we create, like how to secure the account, we need to do some account security, right? Enabling multi-factor authentication and creating some password policies, creating some billing alarms so that we will be in the safer hands. That part we will cover in the tomorrow session, including the global infrastructure theory, free trial, and the process of creating the AWS account, right? And just a question, like, do you guys have AWS account, AWS.amazon.com account? If you already had an account, just you can use that account as usual. But because Amazon had changed a lot of things, even if you create a new AWS account now, based on your identity and all the things, they won't offer you the free trial for the newly created account. Only for the very first account, the free trial is available, not for multiple accounts. When I started like learning and when I started the teaching, At that time, we don't have this limitations. Even Amazon never validate the email ID. You need to use an email ID to create the AWS account. They never validate. We use at the last we use the batch number like uh, uh, my name dot AWS 21, AWS 22, AWS 31, AWS 42 at the rate gmail.com, and we used to create the AWS accounts. Then later they implemented email validation. Once we enter the email ID, we used to get a one-time code just to verify, like, yeah, I am the valid user. This is the valid email ID. That's around like a 2 to 3 years. No, no, 2 to 3 years. More than, yeah, no, 2007, 18, 19. Yeah, it's almost like 6 years. Recently, they changed the complete pattern. Like we need to provide our identity, like either a PAN number or Aadhaar number or something, right? Identity verification that you are a user, you are a valid user. They verify the database. Does any AWS account exist with the same identity names, with the same mobile number, or with the same debit or credit card which you used to create the AWS account? And they will flag it and they will convert that account into a regular account. They don't offer free trial anymore. Okay, only one account per person. You can create multiple accounts, but they are not eligible for free trial. Frankly speaking, I don't have any free trial account now. Even I can't create it with my name because I have used my PAN number, I have used my Aadhaar number, all sort of options to get a free trial accounts in the last 7 8 years. I have used all sort of things. Whenever they implemented a new verification validation method, few days I used a PAN card, then few days I used Aadhaar. I have used like multiple mobile numbers, like 2 to 3 mobile numbers, and everything is done. Now, if I create any account, automatically they can validate that I have already AWS accounts and they convert that into a regular account. Okay, but I will show you the procedure. I will show you the procedure and all. Okay, right. So, any questions on what we covered in the today's session? Okay, so if you guys are clear, let us stop the session here. And in the tomorrow session, just we can go with AWS Global Infrastructure, which is a kind of heart of the entire AWS cloud theory part to understand the upcoming practicals. Once we're done with the global infrastructure, in the same day, we will go with what we call that the free trial account also. Okay, if you have time, please open VI. Yeah, sure. Any questions on the VI editor? Okay, let me open the book. Yeah, sure. You have YYDD. Okay. YY is to copy, DD is to delete. Okay, let me check. Okay, no content. Okay, I think we have. Let me check the files. File one. Okay. So first you okay. Okay, so here vi file one dot txt. Let me set the numbers. Yeah, just I opened vi. Okay, one second. So vi file one dot txt. Just opening the file. Right now, just for easy identification, I will set line numbers colon SE space NU. So I can see the line numbers, right? Okay. So now I want to delete 5 lines. I want to delete 5 lines from 11. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, I want to delete. Or up to 17. Okay, up to 17, I want to delete. So that, no, okay, 11 to 50 or something. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will type 5DD. Don't get into insert mode. Don't get into insert mode by press I. By accident, if you press I and if you see insert, press escape. you will come out of the insert mode. Okay. Now I'm typing 5DD. See here, 5 lines got deleted, including the space, empty lines. Enter is the line. Now you want me to check the YY. YY means and, like a kind of copy in easy words. So I want to copy these 5 lines from Linux administration, hello all, hello all, hello all, and hello all. 4 hello alls. Place the cursor from where you would like to copy, and I will press 5YY. You can see at the bottom left, 5 lines yanked. Okay, now I want to paste it. Where you would like to paste? Okay, I want to paste somewhere at a 61 line. So 61. Now P. See, after the cursor in the next line, the content will be pasted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lines got pasted. If you want to paste somewhere else, so here at 72, 73, after 72, P, 5 lines. Should use in normal mode. I got this. Okay, you mean like you are in the insert mode, right? So if I press P, P will be typed. If I type YY, YY will be typed. There's an insert mode that is only for editing, like type the keys and all. So accidentally, if you are in the insert mode, press escape. You will come out of the insert mode, and just you can do all the things. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. I think I would have mentioned that you are not supposed to be in the insert mode. Okay. Right. Any other questions? No, all clear. Okay. Right then, let us stop the session here and let's continue tomorrow with the global infrastructure and free tire account creation. Yeah, I will reach you guys mostly today with the links of the videos. I will reach you guys on WhatsApp. Okay. Yeah, sure. Already upload is in progress. I downloaded and I renamed along with rename. Just I need to upload it. Okay, which won't take much time. Okay then. Thank you guys. Let's meet tomorrow.